guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and today we're going to get started on the Scenic Route wallet and this little cute storage box combo. We just finished up the magical version, so this is going to be the same project. We're just matting it with a different paper pack. If you're wanting to pick up this project, you will see the link in the description box below this video, and I have maybe a dozen or so left of this theme, and I think as of this morning, as I'm filming this, I have one of the magical themed. Also in my shop, there is one other project that you can get the physical kit, and that's the Countdown to Christmas with the blocks. There's a few of those that's still available. All right, so let's open this bad boy up. If you just kind of want to see where we're going with this, here is the glassine bag with the extra large tag. I love these. This is the cutest paper pack. Look at that woman. Isn't she cute? In Paris. One day I hope to be there. And then we can put some photos. And then you have your glassine bag. Here, we're going to decorate it front and back. Then we're going to make this folder. It says work, save, travel, repeat. Ain't it the truth? The saving part anyway. That's the hardest part. Live your life by a compass, not a clock. So if you're a travel lover, this one is definitely for you. Look at these cool cameras. Love that paper. Adventure awaits. Then here is a tag that we're going to make. Let's go on our greatest adventure. And this is just an extra piece I put in here because I've got more photos than what I have room for. So I just made me an extra little piece. And we'll get to that later. So look at this little, I'm getting out of the light here. Isn't that really cute? But over here where there's light. Well, it's got the stacked suitcases on this little tag. And this says, good things come to those who book flights. Adventure awaits. So cute. So those go in here, and we're going to make this little piece here, this little folder combo. We'll make that. And then the big piece, or the main piece here, is this wallet. Let me put those. Put it all back nice and neat. We'll flip through the wallet, and then we will start matting. We have already made the wallet one time in black for the magical themed, so I'm not going to be putting the wallet together again. If you just back up 6 videos or so in this same playlist, you will find how to put all this together, and then we will start with the matting. So we've got this little frame here that holds a 2x2 photo, another frame that says life was meant for good friends and great adventures, this little globe, or I guess that's just the world, huh? Not really a globe, it's not on a stand. And it opens up like so. So the bottom has this little flip flap, and then this opens to the right and left. Let's go travel, make some memories together. Adventure is calling and I must go. Look at these little tags that goes on your luggage. I love that. So cute. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. I just love her with her little bun in her hair. Here, you can see lots of room for photos, or you can showcase that beautiful pattern paper. These are actually globes here. Grab your passport and let's go. And then we put that on a tag here. And so like I say, you get everything in your kit if you order the physical kit, even down to the little ribbons. All you'll need is tools to put it together. So then let's move this up and look through the bottom. Good things that come to those who book flights. So I used that one a second time in a different layout. Look at this, airmail, place photo here, bon voyage. Then you've got things that pull out here. Let your feet wander, your eyes marvel, and your soul ignite. And a photo on the back. This is pushing this one out. And then a smaller tag here. I've got a crush on the world. I love that camera. And then a photo here. This one says, hello there. All right, let's get started. Like I said, you already know how to put your wallet together. We've already done that once a few videos back. And I'll link that below if you would like some help finding that. But we're going to get started matting. So we have to open up everything that's in our kit. So I always start by getting these two pieces out. Okay, this is just a drawer liner from Office Depot. It's really cheap. It's like a 8x9 and I'm going to put these, I think I'm gonna put them right here in this space. And I'll hold this for the extras when we're done. Maybe, find a place to put it. Then I'm gonna open up this baggie. Okay, so the extra large pieces I'm gonna put over here, and this is a little spice rack that I got from, I think it's TJ Maxx where I picked this one up, yeah. But I got it in the kitchen section. I just kind of like to put all my pieces together. And then littler pieces I put on this side of these little whales over here. Okay. And then I've got a library card. This won't fit in either one, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. I've got 2 types of washi tape. I'm gonna open this and I've got my 4 magnets. Put that there so I don't lose them. Then here's my chain, put that there. Okay, here's your cutting guide that comes in your kit. If you just want to pick up the cutting guide and use your own supplies, you can also go to the Etsy shop and just pick this up. It's very inexpensive, and then you can just print it out and use supplies that you already have in your stash. This also comes in either way that you pick it up. Here's your file folder. We'll use that as a template. You have 11 sheets of paper. So since we've already put together our wallet, that means I have used 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this out because I opened up a new pack here, or a new kit. So get it out of the way so I don't, make sure I'm using the same number of papers that you have in your kit. Here's chipboard phrases. We won't be using that one today, so I'm just gonna move this one out of the way for a little while. Here's all my paper. This is Echo Park paper called Scenic Route. It is so cute. I'm gonna move this over to the side. Oh, this paper, so pretty. We've already kind of done a flip through, but I haven't done this project in a couple of weeks. When I say that, I mean a few weeks. So I'm just gonna flip back through and look here. What I like to do is I design my projects and I make it the first time and I mat it and I take photos as I go and I write that tutorial for you so you have photos. And then now I make it a second time with you, but a lot of weeks have passed between the two things and me sending them out to you. So don't judge me if I get lost in my own project. And then you have the box that's in your kit. So we won't do the box today. I'll put that to the side. All right, so put these out of my way. Okay, so go ahead and grab this. And we've already put our magnets on too, so I won't use the magnets from this kit since I opened it fresh. Okay, finally, sorry, get started here. So we're gonna skip on over, since we've already put this together, but you have the written instructions. We are going to skip over to the matting part, which is on page 10. And I just want to say one more time, I do go through this, but it's a few videos back when I put this together. So it is on YouTube, it's just in the black paper. Matting the wallet. So we're on the middle of page 10, right here. So we're going to gather up this piece of paper. Love this piece of paper here. Scenic Route. Then we're going to get the red dot paper. Make sure there's not but one. Yeah, this one here that looks like it's got little X's on it. Like so. And is that it for the moment? Yes. Okay. So we'll start with this one. Grab your trimmer. So, like in the middle of page 10, we're going to make 4 cuts off this piece of paper, and I'm cutting off the top. So the bottom, when I say cut off the top, I consider this to be the bottom that has the branding strip. So I'm putting it in my trimmer and cutting off the top. All right, so we're going to cut 3/8 of an inch off. So 3/8 of an inch is right below 1/2, because 1/2 is 4/8. So a little bit less than 1/2 of an inch. And sometimes it's easier to cut on the right side when you're doing small pieces. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut on the right side for this little piece. All right, so I'm going to cut that. That's 3/8. There's my first cut here. All right, then I'm going to cut one. So I'm going to turn it since I'm making a bigger cut. And this one's going to be 3 1/4. All right. All right. Like so. And the next cut is another 3 1/4. And there's a reason I'm doing it in this order, because I'm very persnickety and I want them to line up the way I'm using them. So that's why I'm doing it in this order. And then I'm going to go back and do another 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to turn it around so it's easier in my trimmer to do 3/8. There we go. So that's what we should have, like this. And then this I'm going to put into my scraps till I need it later on. So now that they're all trimmed, they all need to be 8 1/4. They all need to be 8 1/4 wide. So we could have cut that first, but I did not want to cut down that larger sheet of paper in case I needed it. So I'm just waited until I got to this point and now cut them all at 8 1/4. Well, I just knocked my whole Lazy Susan with my tools in it. So that's always nice. Okay, and I'm putting all my scraps in one spot here. So I'm cutting them all down to 8 1/4. Right. And one more, just like so. Okay. So if you're going to, oh, I'm kind of out of frame, sorry about that. If you're going to ink your edges, now's the time. I'm going to be using this Distress ink in Vintage Photo color, and then I'm going to be using an ink dauber here. So I'm going to have that off to the side. But before I do that, we're going to go ahead and cut the red sheet of paper. All right, so this red pattern paper that looks like it's got X's on it, this is what's on the back. We're going to be cutting off the top again. And this we're going to cut at 4 1/4. A big piece, 4 1/4 tall. So that's my first one. Then we're going to cut 3/8 of an inch. So here I go again, turning it in my trimmer, just to make it easy on myself. Are you sure, Lisa, that was 3/8 of an inch? Yeah. Yep, just didn't like it. All right, and then I think another, yes, another 3/8 of an inch. All right, just like so. Just line them up. And then lastly, we need 2 pieces, 4 1/4 tall by 1 1/2 wide. So we're going to have to go 4 1/4 here. Now this is going in my scrap. All right, and then from here, we're going 1 1/2 2 times. Here, and one more. Okay, so now this is going to go in my scraps. All right, so now these bigger pieces here, we need to cut all 3 of these down to 8 1/4. Okay. So don't worry about having all the measurements. It is on page 10. You can always pause me, which I'm sure a lot of you do, but you can always go and look at the written instructions. Believe me, if I'm taking someone else's class, I got those things glued right where I can see them. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna do some distressing. So on some of this project, I do a lot of distressing on this project. So if you don't like it, you don't have to do this piece of it. It is totally optional. You can do as much as or little as you want to, or you can fast forward me and go on to the next thing. On some of these, when I am distressing, what we might do is I might fast forward it or just cut it out of the video and come back with you, because it might take forever. I know that's going to be super boring. But the first part of this, I'll talk to you a little bit. I just got finished teaching at the May event of Christmas Craft Acropolis. It was so good. We had so much fun. It was also very tiring, but we did have a lot of fun. I still think I'm tired from it, and it's been a good 4 or 5 days since we had it. So if you came out and was at that class, I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. I really enjoyed talking to my students, and you know who you are. We had a great time. I'm gonna put these back together, and I hope to see you at the next one. When I finish this, I think I'll move my lamps too a little closer to me. I can see a bad shadow down here. But the students, yes, seem to have a great time. Lots of positive comments. There's always going to be things we can improve. We had so many positive comments, and people were just so glad to be able to be back together. I can't tell you the last time I was in a room full of crafters. Well, I guess I can, because it's been 2 years ago. But even just crafting with my mom and sister, it's been such a long time ago, and these uncertain times we're living in, when we're afraid, you know, that we'll pass something back and forth, some kind of illness. So anyway, almost done here. So in my original book, let me show you really quickly. I usually, when I'm matting, I do a lot of black bases, a lot. But on this one, I decided to do something a little different, and that's why we're using this parchment looking paper, I guess you would say. But if you can tell, I distressed all the edges all the way around. I just really, so you can kind of see it here, I really like that look. So you wouldn't see me doing that normally because we've got a black base, and so there's no requirement or sense in doing that, right? So this is going to be a monster, but here you can see it plain, and hopefully you can tell the difference here where the edges are done on the side. But let me go ahead and do just a little bit and show you. So if you wanted to distress it, now is the time. So here's going to be the difference. Let me get it in the light here where you can see brown versus not. So it's just a preference. Like I said, doesn't have to do it. But I go along all my seams or all my score lines and I distress. So this will probably take me 5 minutes or so to do that. And it's probably going to eat up my whole little ink dauber. But I think it looks great to do that. Oh, that's a good shot. You can see this versus the bottom. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave all this kind of here, and I'll probably cut this part out of the video, and then I will be right back. Okay, I think I've got all my edges inked. I could be wrong, but I think it's good, and I can just add to it as we go. I think this is an all or nothing type of thing. If you don't ink it, it looks okay. If you ink it, you got to kind of ink all of it. But I really do like the looks of it. So I'm going to close it all back up here. Right, so we're going to be working on the cover piece. There we go. All right, so we have our pieces cut. I inked all the edges. I inked all of this. Now we are going to be at the top of page 11. We're going to mat the front cover and then the gussets. So then how that's going to go is this piece right here, you're going to put on your front flap. This piece is going to go on the top gusset. You see how that's kind of a continuation? That's why I cut it that way. So that's going to go there. I'm going to move this bottom piece out of the way. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Uh-oh, haven't used my glue in a few days. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Come on, buddy. Oh, no. Of course. That's okay. It really has been like 5 days or so since I've opened it, which is very unusual for me to go that long without crafting something. Like I said, I was wore out. Had a great time, but I was tired. Oh, you know what? I got glue on this and I have not even rounded the corners here to match. So, that's always fun. Am I still tired? Maybe. Let me go and find my corner rounder. Sorry, learn from my mistake. So, you're going to corner round the bottom corners to match this. So, my glue is probably going to dry. Ugh. Let me get the glue off the bottom. Oh, goodness gracious. It's not the end of the world, though. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the edges again. And then I'm probably going to have to put glue back on it because this is very fast drying glue. This barely art glue. But anyway, nothing that can't be salvaged. Just a little extra glue. So I'm going to push this down here, but then I'm going to kind of flip this open where it's flat to make it a little easier to work with here, where I can get a good stick. There we go. So like I said, then this piece will go here on your gusset right above it, so it's kind of a continuation. Like so. So this one doesn't need corner rounding. Good thing too, because I didn't do it if it did. So that's going to go here. Just going to stay away from those score lines and then try to even it up right and left, even with the piece I put down at the bottom. Just like that. Love this paper. So pretty. Okay. So with it closed again, now this red piece that we cut, so this tall piece is going to go here, and I do need to corner around that piece. So that's what that's going to look like. And then the piece that was underneath it will go on the bottom gusset. So I just push that out of the way for a second. Make sure I slow down, Lisa. Corner around the top 2 corners. All right. Move this out of the way. Then I'm going to get my little pokey tool, and I'm going to, since we already put our magnets on, to take the little tape liner off of that. Okay. I'm going to hit the edges again with the brown ink since I had to corner around it. Look how pretty that paper is on the back. We will use a piece of this paper in the project. It's so pretty. It's so, I'll put some ink around the magnets too. It was so cute in one of my classes. This lady did not want to cut her paper. She wanted to make sure she saw the whole project and every piece that we did to make sure that she got to use the exact paper that she wanted to in these places and showcase it. It was so cute. So she just audited the class and then decided to put her paper on later, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to kind of open this up flat and then put this piece down here like a continuation here. So I kind of think she probably had the best time of anyone because she wasn't stressed out about keeping up or what she was going to do next. She just enjoyed the class and participated, but she didn't cut one single piece of paper. She took notes and pictures, and I thought, hey, whatever floats your boat. It's coming together. Love, love, love. All right, so now we are in the middle of page 11, and then it tells us to go ahead and mat the inside here of the flap, and that's going to be this second piece that we cut here, and then this piece here. So you can see how that's a continuation of the pattern because we cut it in that particular order. That's why I was being a little persnickety. So I'm going to make sure I round the top corners of the big piece. Hit it with some ink. Okay. You don't have to take the tape liner up. I've done it both ways. But I mentioned this, I think, last time I was filming. I put a book together one time, and I left the liner on by accident, and it was really close to where a score line was, where you're opening and closing it. And to this day, when you look at that book, it has a creaking noise because of that tape liner. Like, you know, it might be cool if it was like a Halloween book or something, but it's not. So it's just kind of funny. It's kind of got a weird noise to it when you open it. But, oh well, you live and learn. Just trying to get this in the center, right and left, and top, and then to that first score line there. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Do the same piece here. As I am recording this video, I think I said this at the beginning, there are a few of this particular paper pack and a kit left of the Scenic Route, and it is going to be cute. So I'm going to show you the original one as we're going through with no pictures, and I'm going to show you some of the pictures I'm going to put in here for my own personal trip. So we're still on page 11. We're going to open this up to the bottom, push this up to the top. So we're going to put these red pieces here. Let me do this together correctly, because this flap's supposed to be out. So we open that back up or close it down here, but you should be able to see this gusset. So you can put this here. All right, and this is going to go in here. Or if you decide you really want to see this, you can turn it over and see what that would look like. Now, I didn't like the contrasting patterns here and here, but it is up to you. That is an option. So I'm going to put mine on the red, and then I'm going to kind of make sure that I corner around the outside corners on both pieces. So just one time on each piece. And I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers corner punch. Is that what it's called? Anyway, it's a corner rounder, and I'm using the 1/2 inch side because when we put the book together, we used the 1/2 inch on everything so that it would make it easy as we were doing this matting to remember. I love this thing. It was so funny too in the classes that almost every person had that same tool. So it is very popular for a reason. It is a workhorse. I use it on every single project I do, which is not an exaggeration. Every single project I can think of, I use a corner rounder, even in cards. So I actually thought about just getting another one just as a backup. Because when I was cropping in the crop room this past weekend, between teaching classes, we had a crop table. So my corner rounder was in my teaching room, so I didn't have one in my crop table. So thank goodness I had bought my daughter one time for her crafting supplies, so I was able to use hers. So I got to help break that in. She is not new to crafting, but she has a small child, 20 months old, I believe, if I got that right. And so, of course, you can imagine there's a lot to do, and she tries to squeeze in some time for crafting. And I'm so glad that she has caught the love for making handmade projects, because I just don't know what I would do if she didn't, if she hated it. So she was my teaching assistant and did a great job this weekend. Athena is my granddaughter, and I sure hope as she gets a little bit older that she wants to learn to do mini albums, which who wouldn't, right? That's why you're here. All right, so I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to give you a look here. This is kind of what it looks like now at the top. Holding it together. All right, that's what we got so far. I'm going to clean up my space. So now I am at the bottom of page 11. We're right here. It says to cut a scrap of cardstock 1 by 11. Now, I don't have a lot of scraps because, like I said, I made this album piece of this weeks ago, probably by now. So I didn't keep all my scraps, but you'll probably have some scraps here. So I'm just going to grab a whole sheet of paper just because I don't have any scraps. But we're going to cut. It's already 11 inches long, so just cut 1 inch wide off of here. Okay, and now I've got some scraps. Put those over here. Okay. So then we're going to cut, let's see, a piece of the striped. I said striped. pattern papers. So let's look for that. Ugh, it's so pretty. Is it this? I think it's that, yeah. It's too much. Too much. Okay. So go ahead and take a look at this. You're not gonna be able to use all of them. You have to make a choice. I loved these at the bottom and some of these, so I'm not gonna worry, but if you absolutely had to have one of these, then just keep them and then cut down these two. But I'm just gonna cut off the top on the side. Cut a 3/4 of an inch strip. Okay. Cut that off there. Double checking. I'm just double checking my paper. But I think that is the only one that looks like that. Yeah, okay. So then what we're going to do is ink the edges if you want. Like so. My ink pad's getting a little dry. I'm gonna have to like make sure I ink that up before the next video. Get the edges here, edges here. There's not many ink refills that I own, but for these distress inks, I think I own 3 or 4, and it's for the black and a couple of the brown shades that I use all the time for this type work. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to glue this right in the center, but then we're going to glue it flush on one side. It's going to be a little bit long, and we know that because it's 12 inches. So I'm not going to put it all the way to the end. I'm going to put it on this end here. Here. I'm like holding my breath, trying to get it right in the center. Well, the days are getting shorter, and I can tell that by filming this about 5 o'clock in the evening, seeing shadows and having to turn on my lamp. So I am sorry for that. I know you're getting some glare here. You know, haven't had to do that, right? But I am glad fall is coming. All right, still at the bottom of page 11, we're going to cut 2 pieces off. The first of all, we're going to cut, I didn't glue mine exactly straight, so let me straighten mine up here. Yeah, it was coming off just a smidge. So you need a 5-inch piece. 5-inch piece. Here, all right. And then we need a 3 1/4 piece. All right, and do the edges once again. And then you have a little leftover piece you can keep. All right, so now we're turning over here to page 12. Now we're going to be gluing some ephemera pieces to some scrap cardstock and fussy cut out. Look how pretty this is. All right, so let's take a look at this. We're going to need this little whirl. This is coming out of my ephemera pieces here. But I need this one that says, "Life was meant for good friends and great adventures." And then there's one that says, "Always take the scenic route," this one here. So those are the ones that we're looking for now. So let's go through our scraps that we've already trimmed down here. Let's look on the back. All right. So you see these pieces here that we cut off the sides. If you flip over, you've got this really pretty blue, and that will make a perfect mat for this piece here. All right, I'll put the rest away. I'll show you what I did. Let me see. I have a corner or a punch. Let's see that you may own this one. It's called a stub punch from We Are Memory Keepers. Let me get a piece of scratch paper out of here. So if we do the stub side, it's going to kind of look like a ticket. And so that's what I'm using. So you don't have to have this to do this piece, but see how that kind of lines up with this? It kind of looks like a stub here. So let's take this. I'm going to line it up on the sides here. I'm just going to get about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bigger on the top and sides, and I'm going to make a mark here and here about 1/8 of an inch away in a pencil. And then I'll tell you kind of what that is. Let's see, that winds up being 2 3/4, no, 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. I don't know why I didn't have that written down, but let's see. If I do it exactly 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, let's see what that looks like. It should be pretty close. 2 1/2. 2 1/2. Leave those. Put that there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So for this piece here, we're going to cut a 1 1/8 inch circle, and we did this in the last project. This is what I used. I got this at May May's shop. So this, I think it's this one is like, or maybe it's that one. It's the perfect size for this. Again, you don't have to have this one, but I just wanted a bigger mat for my little world here. So I'm going to take a piece of leftover cardstock here. All right, and this just happened to be a little more than 1 inch. You could use a 1 inch punch. I think that would also work. All right, there's that. What else? That's the only time we're going to use that punch. I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to use this stub punch. You can also just round the corners if you wanted to. That would be perfect. But since it already had like this little stub edge, I thought, oh, stub punch, perfect. Let me get my pencil marks off here before I forget. There we go. Okay, and then what else? What did I do with this one? Okay, this one I took a piece of scrap. Let me see if this scrap is big enough. It's bad. I'm like digging out of the trash. Yeah, that's big enough. And I'm just going to trim this down here. Alright, and then just going to hit the edges with brown. Y'all, do you know what tomorrow is? As I'm filming this, tomorrow is the first day of October. I just can't even. I can't. I just don't even feel like I enjoyed enough of February. I mean, February. See, I don't think I enjoyed enough of September. It went so quickly. But I really like fall season, so I'm glad. Today, the weather was beautiful. It was in the 70s. And I was able to wear my flip-flops and my shorts and still be comfortable, and it's just great, and I cannot wait for fall when I can wear, I love wearing 3/4 inch, okay, just forgive me, I don't know what's wrong with me today, 3/4 length, not inch, 3/4 length sleeves. Can you imagine what the sleeves would be? I love wearing the 3/4 length sleeves. I love those. I cannot wait to put those back on. Okay, so I'm just going to glue. Ooh, my hands have got all kind of glue and this really pretty brown shade here. I'm going to glue that down the center, and then I'm going to fussy cut around it. Go ahead and glue these into place. So these are going to be kind of standalone little items that you can pull out and look at, or no, sorry, I'm working ahead. The other ones we're going to do is kind of pull out and look. So these are going to be on the front. But anyway, we need them to be substantial. Have more than one layer. That's why we're doing this here. Those are done. This is glued down. I'm getting some smaller scissors. These are my cutter bees. So what I like to do when I'm doing something odd shaped like this is I just kind of sketch, and I'll hold this up to the camera a second. I sketch about 1/8 of an inch away, and that makes me feel so much better before I start cutting that I've got, you know, a pretty good approximation, because, you know, it's like cutting hair. Once you make that cut, there's no going back. You can't add in, you can't add paper, you can't add hair back. But with the pencil, if you get too close or too far away, you can go ahead and change that before you start cutting on it. See, I can't even draw and talk at the same time. Let me go over here where the light is. See if you can kind of see where I drew around that. Sorry about the lighting. I was really hoping I could get some videos done at night so you guys wouldn't have to wait on the videos until the weekend, but I may have to go back to doing it Saturday mornings and, you know, through the lunch area so I've got really good light. I sit by this really nice big bay window, but it doesn't help if it's getting dark or if it's really cloudy. Okay, it's not perfect, and I'm not going for perfect. That. There we go. You can tell it's not a perfect job, but it's cute just the same. So let's start layering some of these pieces together. So let's get our album here, the front. Okay, this says glue the 3 1/4 inch strip on the top flat about 1 1/4 from the right. All right. So the smaller piece here is going to go about right here. Doesn't have to be exact. We're going to add foam tape to this and pop it up, and then it's going to go right there. Isn't that adorable? So you just want to make sure you're far enough away where that makes sense. So this I'm going to glue flat. This is a really good place to use dimension on the outside. Whoa, look what I just did. Oh, the outside of your albums. Because sometimes it can be difficult to use them on the inside, because if you add too much bulk, especially in different parts of your book, they just keep stacking on top of each other. All right, so you don't have any foam tape in your kit, but if you have foam squares like this or a big roll, so here's my huge roll of foam tape, then I would just put foam tape all around the edges here. This, of course, is optional if you just want to add some dimension. Does not have to be like this, but I like this look here. Let's see if I can get this lined up here. Sorry, out of shot. I must not have my camera set up quite right, because I work more toward my body. And it's sure not looking that way. It's like I'm having to work further away for it to show. There we go. Good enough. Here's this little piece. I had a little piece left over. Make sure I keep that. It's a hot commodity, foam tape. All right, and take the liner off. And then we're just going to center on the top of that little strip. This little strip here kind of helps ground it, gives it a place to sit without floating. Just make sure you look at it, and if you've got any pieces hanging out, which I have a little bitty sliver here hanging out of foam tape, that you just trim that off. I want to be seeing that foam tape. And just kind of eyeball center top and bottom to that little strip that you had. Very nice, very nice. So for the next piece that we're doing, I'm going to put away my stud punch. That's the only time I think we use that. We're going to open the top flap. Now we're going to be at the top of page 13. We are going to draw a line. It shows you here where we're drawing the line, and then open the flap and see the line at the bottom of 12. So with the flap closed, This is kind of at a 90-degree angle like this. I want to make sure I'm not stretching it. Okay, so with like this, I'm going to take my pencil and just draw where this flap is on this left side. Since I put this on the right, I'm going to put this on the left. Okay, now when I open it up, you can kind of see this line drawn right here. This is where we're going to put this larger piece here, the 5-inch strip. It's going to go right above that line so that when you close this back, you don't want to see it. Okay, so this is going to be a tuck point. So we're only going to put glue on the short sides and one long side so that we can tuck things in. So go all the way to the edge, as close to the edge as you can get on the 2 short sides. Same thing on one of the long sides. Go on the very, very edge. Leave yourself lots of room to have a little tuck point there. Okay. And then you're going to glue it where it meets up with your pattern paper on the left, kind of flush with that red pattern paper. All right, and then I'm going to kind of open this, get it flat here. And then you should have an opening at the top here to tuck in pieces. Okay, there's that. So yeah, so I was right. This is one of the tuck pieces. Here and here, and then we need to make the third one. Who wrote this tutorial? Why didn't she do it all at one time? What kind of person is this though? Now, this is just kind of how I was thinking it through. You can tell. And then I'm like, well, I need a third piece, so let's do that. All right, so the third piece, we're in the middle of page 13. We're going to grab this grayish frame here, because you can poke this out. It says Amsterdam, so I'm going to take this out of the center there and leave that in my little box here. So we're going to cut a scrap again, if you have scraps left over, for this parchment paper, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. 2 3/4, 2 3/4. So you're going to grab your corner rounder, and on this one, we're going to corner round on the 1/4 of an inch side. I want just a little bit of corner rounding here. I'm going to ink up the edges. And this is going to be a base for my frame. All right. And I'm going to hit this with some. And you see how this did not tear out evenly? It's got a lot of white on the center. So I'm just going to use my ink. I'm going to get a heavy amount of ink and just try to really ink up that center and knock back that white. I don't want all that white showing. Some of it's going to show, but that really helped, I think, knock it out. And then I can just kind of use that piece on the bottom like it was meant to be here, like a little highlight. And so then this is going to go here. If you're giving this as a gift, if you're not ready to put a 2x2 picture in it, you're going to follow the instructions that's on 13. You're going to turn this over, okay? So if this is my top, I'm only going to put glue here on the sides, like right here, and right here at the bottom, right near the edges of the scallop. Sorry, you can't see that really well, but I'm going right on the edge, top, on the sides and the bottom. And the top I am leaving open. Let me show you the example here. By doing that, then you have an opening still at the top where you can slide in a 2x2 picture. It'll slide in the top. So this is 2x2. So you can put a 2x2 inch piece of paper. You can stamp it, place photo here, or you can just leave it open. So it just depends on if you're giving it as a gift, if you're doing it for yourself. If you have your photos ready, it's just all up to what you want to do. So now I've showed you what to do if you want to have it open. So I have my photo cut, so I'm going to put mine in there. my family and my extended family, and some family friends went on a summer trip. What year was it? Was it 2 summers ago? 2019? Let me look. See, it's going to drive me crazy. I have it on my wall. Yes. We went to Philadelphia and New York City in 2019. And so I'm going to be putting this box, I'm putting all my Philadelphia pictures in. And I'm going to be making a second box and decorating it differently and putting my New York pictures in it. I was going to try and do it all at once, but yeah, I had way too many pictures. Way too many. I still am not using near all the pictures I want to. But see how cute this is to cut down something to 2 by 2. I'm going to go ahead and put my photo in here. Just scratching some glue along the sides enough to help me tack this down into place where I want it to go here with the little horse showing. This is such a cute picture. There we go. Alright, I'm going to trim up the bottom a little bit because it's showing through the scallops. Scallops. I love that word. Don't like to eat them. I like the word. Alright, try this one more time. Okay, like that. We went to Amish country, which if you go to Pennsylvania and you have never been before, I think, you know, it's almost like an unwritten rule that you have to go to Amish country and look around, because it is like going to a different world. They live so differently than we do that it is a tourist attraction in itself. It was so, and people were so nice. All right, so here's my little horse and buggy picture here. So I'm gonna open this, put this in my little tuck place here to the side. And these are kind of in the front. So I like these that you can kind of pull them open and look at them. And see, you've still got plenty of room at the top for this to close. Isn't that adorable? I know we've been working almost an hour, so we're at the middle of 14. So let's go ahead and mat the back of the wallet, and then we will take a break and come back tomorrow and pick up from there. So back of the wallet here. I'm using the ones that kind of look like stamps. You know why they kind of look like stamps? You know, because they are. They are stamps, Lisa. They kind of look like stamps. All right. So the first cut we're going to make, and again, I am in the middle of page 14, is 5 3/4. 5 3/4. And then 8 1/4 wide. And then I'll keep this, my little scraps. Oh, such pretty paper. You'll have to tell me if you were able to go on a vacation in the last couple of summers, and if you're going to use these kits to document that, or if you are using these kits to work ahead of a vacation, or to document a vacation from a while ago. So I know a lot of people have not been able to travel in the last couple of years, so I would be interested to know. So I'm going to flip over to the back and then open it up, maybe, like so. And then this is going to mat. Just make sure you stay away from your score lines, that you're about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And I can tell where I've missed inking in a couple of areas here. Yeah. Just making sure I inked my paper. One of my very favorite papers I ever did, made a project out of, was called Old World Travel. I think it was by Echo Park too, and it was the prettiest paper. I'm trying not to hoard paper anymore because I used to do that, and so now I have papers from 20 years ago when I first started scrapbooking, and I loved them then, and I wouldn't cut them, but now they're out of style. And I'm like, I don't want to use them now, which is so sad. I'm like, why did I do that? Okay, let's see. Another ephemera piece, I do believe, in here. Yeah. This one it says, I love the world and I will never stop exploring. I love using ephemera too. Now, when I'm going to make an album, I look for paper packs that have stickers, cut-aparts, either 3x5, 4x6, whatever, like those little cards that you can use. They're like from Prima, and ephemera pieces like this. I like to have more, than one thing to go back to so that I can decorate it or really embellish it. So here, I'm just going to go right over this. If you cut yours like mine, I'm going to put it right here, look over the Eiffel Tower there, just somewhere there. And in order to ground this one, instead of putting a strip under it, I'm just going to use some washi tape and help ground it. So I put this over this, just because I thought that was a nice spot. Go ahead and cover that up. Then I'm going to grab my washi, and I decided to use some of both. I used this one that has map on it and the one that has the car on it. Let me show you the finished example here. So this one has the maps. This one has the maps and the cars, just kind of together there. And let's just kind of layer that and see what that looks like. Take a little piece out here. I'm going to put this kind of right underneath it. Let's see, I wonder how well I glued this down, if I can slide it a little bit under here. Oh yeah, there we go. Just on the edges. It would look cute if I did that, because I didn't think ahead. Okay. Third time's a charm. Here we go. There we go, like this. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right underneath, like the middle of it, just to give it some extra oomph here to hold down. I like that. I'm going to try and do that on this side too. But if you glued yours where it's not coming up, don't fret. Just put it right on top. But I want to go right under the edge if I don't have any glue right there. I think I should be good right here. There we go. Oh, I got a little hole in it. It's fine. This is very Chevy chic. So actually it goes with the vibe. So I'm going to put that under here. I'm going to get my wrinkle out of it. There we go. Kind of like that. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath. Maybe not. It's glued pretty well. I'm going to put some glue under this. There we go. So then if you want to add something to it, what I did is I put another strip of that different washi and just kind of layered it on top on that bottom piece. On top, on the bottom. Did that make any sense? The bottom piece here, I'm going to put some on the top. Now, if I could find where it starts. My sweet mother did these cards for you guys because you don't need a whole roll of washi, to do a project. They just give you entirely too much. So, we buy just a few and we all get to share, and then you get to have more pieces of other things. That way, instead of spending money on big washis, and you get more tags and the like there. Cute. Can you see that? Adorable. Love it. Put my washi away. Okay, guys, I hope you're enjoying this process and give me a little bit of grace. My mess ups. I knew it was going to be this way. I tried so hard to get all these videos out before I went and did that in-person teaching, but I just ran out of time. It just took longer than I thought. But we're going to keep going. So tomorrow when we come back, we'll continue to mat this wallet, and I'll actually put some pictures in here, and then we'll just keep going through the process until we get to that box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not a subscriber, and I will see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place, where we keep going on this project. As always, thank you guys for your support. Bye.